I found a cute little place to rent, and 2 days before, like, I'm moving in all my stuff, my dad goes, hey, I thought about it more, and I don't feel good about giving you the loan. No, I'm not gonna co-sign anymore. And my heart was just like, oh, what? I'm like, Dad, I'm locked into this
You're
lease.
like, it's already happening.
Yeah, and he's just like, sorry, figure it out.
You are listening to Last Client of the Day, presented by Boulevard. My name is Skya Jones, and I am so excited to introduce you to our guest, Holly Tanella, who is an award-winning esthetician, founder and creator of Boho Med Spa, and famous content creator known for her ASMR facials. Holly has been an esthetician since 2014. She spoke across the country for companies like Hydrofacial, Aesthetic Biomedical, and ICES, while also building a personal brand, amassing a following of over 2.4 million followers on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
This episode is brought to you by Boulevard, the first and only client experience platform purpose-built for appointment-based self-care businesses. Today's listeners can save 10%. To claim your special offer, head over to joinboulevard.com/podcast. That's joinblvd.com/podcast.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have such an exciting episode today with the amazing Holly Tanella. I am so excited to sit down and learn more about you, learn about your med spa, and all of the amazing knowledge you have. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you guys so much for having me on. This is such a fun, like, who knew that I'm like, hey, Boulevard, and you guys are like, hey, I'm like, what? And so dream come true, right?
Yeah.
About me, I'm a licensed esthetician for 10 years, and I have 5 children. I have a husband. My children range anywhere from 12 to 4. I literally run a circus. I have 3 other businesses. I don't sleep.
You're superhuman, basically super mom, superwoman.
Or crazy, one of the two.
I mean,
they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, you gotta have both.
Yeah, right?
You gotta have both. Keep it fun and keep it interesting.
I've had my med spa for 10 years as well. I specialize in pigmentation. I've actually won Skin Games, which is an international skin competition. I won it twice.
Yeah, you're world renowned.
I'm a hydrofacial master, and I actually teach in that program on pigmentation. So
Awesome.
I'm a Vivace ambassador as well. I'm a trainer for them. And I'm also a brand ambassador for VI Peel and Skin Pen. Like, the list goes on. I love educating my industry.
Yeah, a wealth of knowledge and education.
And I think the biggest thing that I'm known for now is going to be ASMR. So I fell into ASMR doing facials and putting people to sleep about 2 years ago. And that's where I really started to blow up on social media.
Well, it's such a trendy sensation, especially like through social media, but also for like the client experience aspect of it.
Totally.
I feel like. What made you want to get into the med spa space in the first place?
Med spa really wasn't my first game that I was trying to get to. I just wanted to help people with their skin. My sisters and brother all struggled with acne all over their face, chest, and back. And I never understood why. Like, why can't doctors help you? And it turns out it was a lot to do with their diet. But doctors don't really go into that. They just focus on medication. And so when I started doing research for them, I was actually able to help clear their acne. And then I found a passion there from skin. I actually worked for my mother-in-law, which was
I love that.
No,
not fun.
It's rough. It's rough out there. Okay. She helped me in so many ways, but also, like, it didn't end well. We don't talk anymore.
It's hard to work with family.
It's really hard to work with family.
Very hard. It's hard to live with them and hard to work with them.
Yes. Yes. That journey and that story is what brought me to here, because if it went perfect with her, I would still be working with her. And I wouldn't have started my own practice.
Yeah. Forced you to grow.
Yes. It forced me to grow.
Yeah.
So I started my own place with only 8 clients. Yes. And I actually I wasn't able to get a loan. I tried, and then my dad finally was like, hey, I'll co-sign for you. And I found a cute little place to rent, and 2 days before, like, I'm moving in all my stuff, my dad goes, hey, I thought about it more, and I don't feel good about giving you the loan. No, I'm not going to co-sign anymore. And my heart was just like, oh, Dad, I'm locked into this
You're
lease.
like, it's already happening.
Yeah. And he's just like, sorry, figure it out. And so I did. And which is crazy because I had 8 really, really great clients. My loan that I needed was $20,000. And I just remember God saying, like, you don't need a loan. I'm going to be your loan. And so within 2 days of opening my place, I made $10,000. Like, my clients were just, I'd sold packages.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's go. I'm like, sweet.
They were
let's
bought
go.
in.
I opened in September. By the time November rolled around, end of November, my clients started asking for hydrofacial. They're like, Holly, when are you going to get hydrofacial? This is in 2015 when hydrofacial really wasn't
on
a thing.
The market. Yeah.
No, this was just like some
Starting
clients
out.
were just like, the first place I worked at, they had a hydrofacial. And then when I started on my own, they were like, we want this again. I'm like, guys, this is the $30,000 machine.
It's a huge investment.
This is like a really nice luxury car.
Yeah.
There's no way I can afford this. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call hydrofacial. It's towards the end of the year. Maybe they might be having some type of deal. And if I can just get my foot in the door, that would be great. So I call them and they're like, yeah, we can set you up on a payment plan. I'm like, great. They're like, we just need $6,000 down. And I'm like, okay, $6,000.
You're like, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And I was like, okay, if I can get my VIP clients to commit to doing like a really nice package for me, I'll do it because I know I can make the monthly payments after that. Within a day, I had the money. And which is crazy because I opened in September. By the end of December, I had everything that I wanted and my suite paid off. And I was halfway through already paying off my hydrofacial. And within 6 months of opening my practice, I actually had to hire another person because I was so busy. It was insane. And I actually bought the suite next door to me. Wow. And then about a year and a half later, I took on another suite. And then 3 years later, I was like, I need to have a bigger location. And this also was in the time where dermaplaning is like a gray area in Texas.
Yeah.
And so they were like, if you're going to keep doing dermaplaning and microneedling, you need to have a medical director. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I could maybe give up microneedling, but dermaplaning, that stuff's like skin crack. I'm going to lose all my clients if I can't.
And everybody
provide it.
wants it.
Yes. So that's my journey on becoming a med spa, was so I could do dermaplaning, and it grew from there.
That's full circle though, because dermaplaning you think of as not invasive and not really like medical in terms, but it is that gray area.
Yes, it totally is a gray area. I called the Texas board. I called the
like, how can I get
cosmetology board. I called the medical board, and they were like, no one can tell me an answer.
Yeah, we always say it's like the wild, wild west in medical aesthetics because it's this weird transition between medical and aesthetics, and it's kind of this undiscovered territory where everyone's kind of just figuring it out as we go, especially in states like Texas or Idaho. That is amazing though. That's like such a beautiful transition from being like, I don't know if I'm going to get a loan and be able to open, to just having explosive success that quickly.
Yeah, it was a wild journey, and I think that for those of you guys listening, it may be hard and doors might be closing, but if it's meant to be, those doors are going to open. And maybe you might think, hey, I have to go this route to get to where I'm supposed to be, but that's not always true. You can go some other sideways, the unbeaten path, and you'll get where you're supposed to be going if that's where you're supposed to be in life.
It's such a unique, everyone in business ownership has such a unique path. I don't think there's really one way to go about it that is you have to do it this way or you're not going to be successful. I think everyone figures it out from the hardships or the experiences they have, and they just shift and make their own kind of path from that.
Absolutely.
I love that you have so many hands in different things. You own multiple businesses. You're a mom. How do you balance that? And like, how, when getting started, did you balance being a mom, a wife, having all of these different things with opening a business?
I didn't for a long time.
Yeah.
And still, it's a challenge. But I've learned wherever I'm at to be present. So if I'm working, be fully present in work mode. If I'm with my kids, the phones go away. I stay fully present with them. Am I perfect at this? Absolutely freaking not. Okay, I'm human.
None of us are, yeah.
But I'm still going to try my best to be remaining of being cautious with them, you know? And also with my kids, that's probably one of the things that I had to sacrifice the most is my time with them when they were younger, because I was building my business.
Yeah.
My husband, when we first met, he was going through chiropractic school, and his parents went through a really bad divorce when we were first married. He ended up getting super depressed, dropped out of chiropractic school. That's when I decided I was going to go to aesthetic school, because he didn't really know what he was going to do with his life. And I'm like, well, I have to figure out some way to provide for like our family if you're in a transition where you don't know.
Yeah.
So I had a baby, our second child. He was only 1 month old, and I went to aesthetic school, and it's a 6-month program. I graduated in 3 months because I was able to stay like all hours of the day. I would pump. I still was breastfeeding, and people would make fun of me because they would hear my breast pump in like the treatment room. But I was determined. I'm like, hey, the fastest I can get out of here, the faster I can go into my career and start providing for my family. And so I missed out on my second born, him being a little baby, and like that makes me so sad. But I know it's a sacrifice that I had to make, and it was worth it in the end.
Totally. Well, and it's that hard work and determination that lets you be where you are today and let you finish school so much earlier than you would have. I think it's always a constant battle of trying to balance life and work, especially when you're a business owner, because your work becomes your life so much.
Absolutely.
And so it's so hard to set those boundaries of like not picking up the phone when you're home and looking at, okay, who's trying to get in, who's scheduling, what's going on social media, who's responding to stuff.
I do have a manager now, and that was like the best thing I ever did in my business was get a manager to deal with the employees, deal with all the mundane stuff of the business, because I just don't simply have the time anymore. And 100%. Not to mention, I'm not good with my employees. Like, I just believe the best in everybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh,
I've been there.
I'm like Oprah Winfrey when it's like hiring. I'm like, you get a job. And then I'm like, oh, would I hire? I don't know.
Yeah. You have to have someone that like balances out the parts of the personality that you might not have. So if you're like super empathetic and you're like, I just love everybody, you almost have to have somebody that's like a little bit more like, okay, I'm going to come in, set the rules, and it's going to be this way or the highway type of thing.
Yes.
So it's definitely, I think, from all of the businesses that we work with and that I've seen, it's like, let the experts do their thing and you do what you're passionate about and good at. And that's, I think, how everyone feels the most fulfilled in what they do.
Absolutely.
So you're a very big presence on social media. You're definitely an influencer in the industry. How do you think social media has impacted the med spa industry?
Bringing more awareness to service for clients.
Totally.
So one thing that changed a lot for me is presenting my services in an ASMR format, where people enjoy watching my content to go to sleep, but yet they're watching it to get educated on what's out there and how they can help their skin.
100%. I mean, I think back to when like Real Self was like the first version of social media for learning about cosmetic services, and you would go and see like people's professional before and afters, but other than that, there wasn't a huge way for people to see what services were available. It was all like word of mouth. So I feel like now we see so many varying types of clients coming in asking for services like, oh, I really want this peel, or I want this hydrofacial. And I think that social media and the type of content that you create is really what brings that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that social media has been able to catapult different businesses like hydrofacial or different chemical peels or getting microneedling done instead 100%. Of having billboards out there or being in magazines or being on commercials. Your consumers are able to have that knowledge so much faster. And so having more consumer awareness for that service is really helpful for business owners.
Yeah. Do you see with social media and kind of the trends right now that people coming in like following skincare regimens from like influencers that don't have education on products, or they maybe don't understand the actual ingredients? Do you see that come up a lot?
That is a really big thing, but I have not actually experienced that with my practice. And I want to say maybe because people that come to me are wanting
already
to are already more educated, or that they are not and they want to be, and they're coming to see me because they see me as the expert.
Totally.
And so a lot of times on my forms, I like to put in like, what are you here for? Are you here for relaxing facial, skin correction, or do you want a whole new regimen? Like, what do you want? And they'll tell me like, I'm here for a whole new regimen. I can't wait to change my skin. And so I don't see a lot of, oh, well, Kylie Jenner is doing this. Like, I don't get that in my practice.
Yeah, they're coming because you're the expert and they just want to learn from you. That's beautiful. That's like the perfect type of client that we all want as service providers.
That's a lot of hard work to finally get there.
Yeah,
because social media does not happen overnight for a lot of people. It didn't happen for me.
This episode is brought to you by Boulevard, the modern, easy-to-use client experience platform that delivers everything you need to streamline your business, empower your staff, and amaze your clients. Listeners can save 10% for tuning into this episode. To learn more, go to joinblvd.com/podcast. Boulevard, make every moment matter.
Yeah, how did you get into social media? What was ASMR the kind of precipice for that to push you into that?
No, actually, I only discovered ASMR about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I've been doing social media for about 7 years now. Okay. And I would throw up content and I would keep going. And I knew that social media was it's like the lowest hanging fruit to be able to grow my business. And so I had a social media manager. I had people doing content for me, but it never really stuck. Yeah. And I think it was because it wasn't fully me. And so what I learned when COVID happened, COVID changed everything for me and my business. Yeah. When my business closed down, all I had was myself, my knowledge, and my family. I wasn't treating anymore. Mm-hmm. And my husband, he's literally my angel, but he is my go-to. Whatever I need, I call my husband. And so my husband is our CEO, and
that's amazing.
During that time, I was like, babe, we need to sell products online. Because what are we going to do? I was pregnant with my fourth child, and I was like, we have to figure out something, because what are we going to do? And I was like, babe, I need you to make a website. He's like, I don't know how to make a website. He goes, but I'll learn on YouTube. I'll YouTube it. So he did. He made a little Shopify website. We were able to put up all of our products online. And within a week, I started talking about skincare and showing myself, showing my education, and showing my family. And when I started showing up, consistently, and showing up and giving out free information and helping people to relate more to me and sharing my life, that's when I really started to grow on social media. Before I was not growing. It was like a little turtle growth, you're paying for growth, but you're not getting there because you're not producing the content. When I went back to my treatment room, we were able actually to start our business again. I had to hire 4 more estheticians.
Wow.
It was
like exponential growth from that social media.
Yes. And then we were also still selling products online. So when I went back to my treatment room, I felt like I was double dipping because I was making money still from our online store.
That diversified revenue.
Yes. And I was like, oh my God, yes. And so that's when I really started to get addicted to social media.
Yeah.
I'm like, this has changed everything. I got to 17K, couldn't grow past it. There's just something on Instagram. Instagram's a hard little beast to get over.
There's a lot of different algorithms and it's very complex.
Much. Yes. And I didn't understand then. And I also wasn't posting as frequently. Now, knowing if I could tell my younger self, you need to post every day, I would have. One of my other clients recommended me to do ASMR. She was like, hey, you should do ASMR. I was like, isn't that like eating food? And she's like, ASMR can be anything. It's just the sound of something. Yeah. So just do a facial and don't talk. I'm like, well, I basically do that every day.
You like my job?
Yeah. So I just do my job and film it, and just she's like, yeah, just tap on bottles. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. So I did it. And the first post that we posted on TikTok of ASMR, we got overnight 6 million views. Yeah, it was insane.
Wow.
And then we posted another one like that. And again, another 6 million views. And then I posted my son. I gave him a facial, and it was ASMR, but it was mainly just him being like his 10-year-old little self. And he would just ask so many questions. And that one, it just blew up. Now has almost 40 million views. And
just went viral.
Just in one day, I gained like 50,000 followers. It was insane. I was like, this is like winning the lottery. This is insane. From there, it started to blow up. And now I'm almost at 2 million on TikTok. And my TikTok account is what feeds a lot of my other accounts.
Yeah.
So then it started to help my Instagram growth. And then it started to help my YouTube growth start to happen. And now I actually it's crazy. When you're consistent with anything, you could produce content and you will still grow as long as you're producing something every day.
Yeah. It's just about keeping that audience engaged.
Yes. And then also finding
content.
Something that you're known for. Like when people close their eyes, they have to be like, okay, boho med spa. They think ASMR.
Yeah.
Boho med spa, skincare. It has to be, it can't be really broad.
You found that niche market.
You have to find a niche and stay in that lane. And what's crazy is if I produce content outside of my niche, it doesn't perform well. And actually the algorithms punish me because the rest of my videos go to trash. But and then I have to gain back trust.
Yeah.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. Or
yeah.
Partner? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you imagine if your partner, you came home one day and they were just totally irate. You're like, they just turned into a different person. And you're like, wait, who are you?
You're like, who is this?
What is going on? And then the next week, they're totally back to normal again. And you're like, wait, what happened to you? And you have to rebuild trust again. That's what the algorithms view you as. They're like, hey, what are you doing? This is not you. Why are you acting like this?
Yeah,
when you
it's
go
almost
back to
like
normal,
that consistency keeps it authentic for your audience.
Yes. It is wild. So if I want to do anything new or introduce anything new on my audience, it has to be my same format of somebody on the table.
That makes sense though, because that's what's keeping them engaged, and that's what they recognize. It's like brand awareness or brand recognition. They're like, okay, this is Holly, this is Boho Med Spa, this is what they see as familiar to you.
Yeah. So whatever content that you find that pops off for you, keep producing content like that, and then that's what the algorithms will start to know you as. And that's when you start to build a following.
I think that's so key, especially in today's world of even just social media. Is a lot of the time it's hard for people to feel truly authentic, like themselves. They feel like they're trying to maintain an image, but really what consumers, or even like you or I, when we look at Instagram, is like, we just want to see people's lives. Like we just want to see them and like what they have to offer, whether it's knowledge or experience, cool pictures, whatever it may be. It's like that authenticity goes a long way with consumers, our clients, audiences, whatever it may be. I love that. Tell me, we have a segment called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. If you had to choose one of your favorite stories, whether it be a client horror story, a recognition moment that made you like, I love this industry, or I love this business so much. If you had to choose something, give us the tea.
The first one that comes to mind of embarrassing is actually something that happened to me yesterday. And it's actually why I'm wearing this dress today. So, and I guess I'm going to tell you a bad thing, but all bad things end up leading to good things.
Yeah, always.
So,
something good always comes out of it.
I'm highly allergic to whey protein. It's crazy, my allergy.
Which also, whey protein isn't good for skin, right?
No, it's not. It's actually it contributes a lot to acne.
Yeah.
So we don't like whey. We like pea protein.
Pea protein all the way.
Yes. The shake that I had said it had pea protein in it. No way, but I am like 99% sure, 99.999.
It got in there.
It was cross-contaminated because I died yesterday and I thought I was not going to make it today. Then I ended up getting better. I made myself throw up. And then my manager, she's a Reiki master, ended up doing Reiki on my stomach. And I felt much better. And then I went to the store to go run an errand. And I totally myself. And then I had to go find a new outfit walking around Express with poop pants.
It's happened. It's happened to the best of us.
And everyone kept coming up to me asking if I needed help. I'm like, no, please just stay away. You're
like, no, I'm fine.
You don't want to be around me right now.
You're like, no. They're like, are you from Instagram? You're like, no, that's not me.
No,
that's not me.
Please just walk away.
Honestly, it's happened to the best of us, and props to Reiki because it is magical.
Yeah, I end up coming back and I tell my manager what happened to me, and she's like, Holly, I'm so sorry. That's like a thing with Reiki, especially if you're dealing with like tummy issues or you're trying to get healing. Like your body's just like, okay, we got to get everything out.
Yeah, your body's just healing itself, doing what it's supposed to do.
Oh my God.
And you got an amazing outfit out of it.
This is the outfit that I ended up getting, and quick pinch to try to get back to work and see
beautiful.
clients. And I'm like, actually, it looks really cute.
And that's a true provider. You're like, I have to get back to see my clients, not like I need to go home and lay down. You're like, no, my clients need me.
No, because I don't know where I'm going to put my clients if I don't finish. Like if I don't see their appointment today, I will not see them for months.
How booked out are you?
I'd say around like 3 months.
Wow. Yeah. So you're like you have to get them in or else it's going to ruin the whole schedule.
Yes. So I'm like, I got to do what I got to do to get back.
You persevered for them.
Yes.
That's true love right there. That's true love. If you had to give advice to your younger self, I know you touched on this, but if you had to look back and give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I think defining what success is, because my younger self, if she knew where I was at today, would actually be a little disappointed. And the reason why is because I thought I would have 10 locations by now. For some reason, ever since I was younger, 6 months into it, I wanted a franchise. I don't know why. I still don't know why.
Your
I'm like,
ideal.
why do I want a franchise? I don't know. This is very stressful. And that still is in the back of my mind of like wanting to franchise. I'm like, I don't know why I want to do this to myself. Because every day I'm like, I think I want to run away. Yeah, I think we'll be done with this.
You're like, I think I'm just going to change my identity and just move to a different state.
Just kidding. I'm like, maybe I'll just do the social media thing, but not the client thing. Because I love my treatment room, but when you're constantly solving problems and
it's hard.
It just is like never stops as a business owner. And I think so many people listening to this podcast can relate to that.
Yeah,
it's just,
I can't imagine. It really is like a child and like a labor of love.
So I thought I was going to have 10 locations, and I think I would have been sad that I don't have 10 locations by now. But now what I determine success is being happy in your present moment. 100%. And things I know will come to me, and I've had so many successes that I am proud of. And earlier we talked about you're going to eventually get there, but it's just your journey may not look like how you envision it to be. Totally. I'm a control freak. I want to know like how everything's going to go. I am that helicopter mom. Like I need Xanax, okay? Like I need to just
But that's how you got
down.
To where you are today.
Yes,
that grit and determination.
Yes.
It's necessary, but I think you are forced, especially when you are an entrepreneur, you're forced to learn to go with the flow a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, I can see it's made you extremely successful, and now you can do so many things and have such a good life balance between work, your kids, social media, and not a lot of people could do that. So huge props.
Thank you. I am happy where I am today. I just wish I could tell my younger self just to be happy with your journey.
Yeah, just enjoy it. And like,
enjoy the ride. It'll be all okay.
Yeah, it's hard not to stress about it when you're in it. And I think so many of us will like look back and be like, that's like growing up when you're young. You're like, I just want to be an adult. And then we all grow up and we're like, no, that's the best part of life. Like being carefree. But it translates very well to being a business owner. I feel like just enjoy it.
Yes. Growth sometimes is hard.
I have to ask, since you're such a wealth of knowledge and you have so many good different key kind of pieces of information on skin and products, I know you have really good product recommendations and some stuff that you brought with you today.
Yes.
I would love to hear about it.
Yeah. So I have one of my first like products ever. This is my Limpia Boho Cleansing Balm. And this
I love a cleansing balm.
We love her, right? She's going to melt right into your skin. She's going to remove off all your makeup. And she's also going to help your blackheads along the way. And it's cruelty-free, super clean. It smells like a dreamsicle. Like that's the first thing that when you open this later tonight, because you're going to get one.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're going to be engulfed in just like heaven of orange and vanilla. And it's all essential oils. And it has comfrey and yarrow root in it to really help calm your skin down. It's really great.
I love that. I think that's so... Double cleansing is one of those things that like
game changer.
A physician or dermatologist won't ever recommend. They're like, no, you need salicylic, you need all these harsh chemicals that can strip your skin barrier. So it's like we have all these acne patients and you see it day in and day out. They do all of these really harsh chemicals, products, and really they might just need like a double cleanse to really clean off their SPF and their makeup and all of that gunk. And that can help their skin clear up.
Let's not forget to talk about compromised barrier.
And
how that happens much.
It's a huge problem.
Yes. And
I've been a victim of it.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, we always think
feel like
more
we
is
all-
better,
yeah.
but that's not always the case. So this balm is really great for helping to repair the barrier as well. And for my esties out there, it's actually a beautiful dermaplaning medium, and it also is great for gua sha. So I love a girl who can multitask.
Yeah.
And that's my
We love a
cleansing balm.
multitasking
Yes.
tool. I love that. I cannot wait to try it. I'm literally already obsessed.
Oh,
I'm already
thank
so
you.
excited.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on today. This was so much
Thanks for
fun.
having
I
me.
loved learning all about you and your amazing journey, and everybody listening appreciates it as well.
Thank you. I hope that the listeners here got some type of golden nugget out of it, and just know that keep pursuing your dreams and your dreams will come to you.
Yeah, and if our listeners want to learn more about you, where can they find you?
Boho Med Spa.
Beautiful. We love
that's
it.
my handles across my TikTok.
Boho Med Spa,
YouTube.
ASMR facials. You're
Yes.
going to be put to sleep and relaxed and learn a
Exactly.
lot.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Yes. It's now time to relax and unwind. Shh. You're listening